welcome back to the Language of Leadership, the podcast where we explore what it takes to lead with impact, inspire with purpose, and drive meaningful change. I'm your host, Chuck MartinG, and today we're going to dive into a topic that's the cornerstone of exceptional leadership, the leadership mindset. A leadership mindset is a deliberate, disciplined way of seeing the world. It's a lens that transforms challenges into opportunities, setbacks into lessons, and teams into powerhouses of innovation and growth. It's about showing up every day with intention, resilience, and a vision that pulls everyone forward. Now, today we're going to unpack what a leadership mindset really means, why it's a game changer for you and your team, and how you can cultivate it through practical strategies. We're going to weave in some real life stories of leaders who turned struggling organizations into global successes. We're talking billion-dollar brands from scratch and inspired teams to achieve the impossible, all because of their mindset. From Lisa Su's turnaround at AMD to Hamadi Lukaya, his yogurt empire, Chobani, these stories will show you what's possible when you lead with the right frame of mind. So whether you're leading a startup, a corporate team, or even navigating your own career, this episode is for you. So grab a notebook, settle in, and let's explore the language of a leadership mindset together. We need to understand the leadership mindset. So let's start defining what we mean by a leadership mindset. At its core, it's a way of thinking that shapes how you approach challenges, make decisions, and inspire others. It's about cultivating qualities like resilience, adaptability, curiosity, and a relentless focus on growth, not only for yourself, but for those that you lead. A leadership mindset is proactive. It's about seeing the bigger picture, even when the path ahead is a little bit foggy. It's about embracing uncertainty as a chance to innovate, not a reason to stall. And most importantly, it's about believing that your actions, no matter how small, can create a ripple effect of change. Let me take you back to 2014 when Lisa Su stepped into the role of the CEO at AMD, a semiconductor company teetering on the edge of irrelevancy. At that time, AMD was losing a market share to competitors like Intel and Nvidia. Its stock prices languished around $3 a share, and it was morale that was really low at that time as well. Analysts were skeptical, and the company's future looked pretty grim. But Lisa Su didn't see a sinking ship. She saw potential. Her leadership mindset was rooted in a strategic clarity and a refusal to accept defeat. She focused on three things: streamlining operations, investing heavily in research, and fostering a culture of innovation. She wasn't afraid to make the tough calls, like cutting unprofitable product lines, but she also inspired her team to dream big. So if we fast forward to today, and AMD's stock price has soared to around $140 a share, and the company is a major player in the tech industry, powering everything from gaming consoles to supercomputers. So what made the difference? It was Lisa Su's mindset. She didn't just react to problems, she anticipated them. She didn't just manage people, she empowered them to take risks and to innovate. And she didn't let short-term setbacks derail her long-term vision. That is the leadership mindset in action. It's not just about corporate turnarounds. A leadership mindset applies at every level. So let's take, for example, Coach John Wooden. He's the legendary UCLA basketball coach. Coach Wooden's philosophy wasn't just about winning games. It was about building character. He once said, "Success is never final. Failure is never fatal. It's courage that counts." You see, his mindset focused on preparation, discipline, and bringing out the best in each of his players. Over his career, he led UCLA to 10 NCAA championships, including 7 in a row, a record that still stands today. So, what ties these stories together? A leadership mindset is about seeing possibilities where others see obstacles, staying grounded in your values, and inspiring others to rise to the occasion. It's not about being perfect. It's about being purposeful. Now, we've defined leadership mindset, but let's talk about why it matters. Not just for you as a leader, but for your entire team. When you cultivate this type of a mindset, you're not just improving your own performance, you're creating an environment where everyone can thrive. It's like planting a seed that grows into a culture of trust, innovation, and even resilience. So let's look at Rick Kent. He's the founder of Merit Financial Advisors. When Rick started his firm, he wasn't just focused on building wealth for clients. He wanted to build a legacy of trust and collaboration. His leadership mindset was rooted in servant leadership, the idea that a leader's primary role is to serve their team. He believed that by empowering his advisors with autonomy and resources, they deliver better results for their clients. This wasn't just a feel-good philosophy. It actually worked. By fostering a culture where team members felt valued and trusted, Rick scaled Merit Financial Advisors to manage over $10 billion in assets. His advisors weren't just employees. They were partners in this mission. When team members know their leader believes in them, they're more likely to take initiative, think creativity, and go the extra mile. That's the ripple effect of leadership mindsets. But it's not just about financial success. A leadership mindset also builds resilience in teams. So consider a story about Ernest Shackleton. 1914, Shackleton's ship, the Endurance, became trapped in ice. It stranded his crew in one of the harshest environments on Earth. Most leaders would have given up, but Shackleton's mindset was unshakable. He kept his crew focused, maintained morale, just small acts like storytelling, sharing meals, and it led a daring rescue mission to save every single member of his team. His ability to stay calm, adapt to impossible circumstances, and inspire hope turned a disaster into one of the greatest survival stories in history. What can we learn from Shackleton? A leadership mindset doesn't just help you navigate a corporate boardroom. It can literally save lives. It creates a culture where people feel safe just to take risks, knowing their leader has their back. It's going to foster collaboration between team members and see their leaders modeling vulnerability and trust. And it's going to drive innovation because people are empowered to think outside the box. For leaders, the benefits are just powerful. A leadership mindset keeps you grounded during tough times. It helps you make decisions with clarity, even under pressure. And it gives you the confidence to lead authentically without pretending to have all the answers. When you embrace this mindset, you're not just leading, you're transforming. Now, let's talk about strategies for developing a leadership mindset. How do you actually develop a leadership mindset? It's not something you're born with. It's something you build day by day through intentional practices. So let's break it down into 5 key strategies with real-world examples to help bring this to life. First, self-awareness. The foundation of a leadership mindset is self-awareness. You can't lead others effectively if you don't understand your own values, strengths, and blind spots. So take time to reflect, journal, meditate, or seek feedback from mentors and peers. But you got to ask yourself, what drives me? What triggers me? Where do I need to grow? Consider Andre Nui, the former CEO of PepsiCo. When she took the helm in 2006, She faced immense pressure to deliver results in a competitive industry. She had to reflect deeply on her purpose as a leader. She introduced performance with purpose, which was a strategy that balanced financial success with sustainability and diversity. By staying true to those values, she helped grow PepsiCo's revenue by 80%, and it made it a global leader in responsible business. Self-awareness gave her the clarity to lead with conviction. So the actionable step for this strategy: set aside 10 minutes each week to journal about a recent leadership challenge. What went well? What would you improve? This small habit can uncover patterns and help you in your growth. So let's talk about continuous learning. Success leaves clues. A leadership mindset thrives on curiosity. Great leaders never stop learning. They read, they ask questions, and they seek out new perspectives. This keeps them adaptable in a fast-changing world. Take Satya Nadella, the CEO for Microsoft. When he took over in 2014, Microsoft was struggling to keep up with all their competitors like Apple and Google. He embraced a learn it all mindset. He actually shifted Microsoft's focus to cloud computing and acquisitions like LinkedIn, turning the company into a $2 trillion powerhouse. His curiosity and willingness to learn transformed Microsoft's culture in their bottom line. So there's an actionable step here as well. You need to commit to reading one leadership book or even listening to one podcast episode per month. See, ask yourself, what team would benefit from the books that I'm reading? It's a great way to learn and build connection with your team. Include them in this actionable step. Have them read a book with you or listen to that podcast and gets that motivation and juices flowing in you as a leader. Now, let's look at number 3. This is going to be empowerment. Trust your team. A leader's job isn't to do everything. Believe me, I know. It's to enable others to shine as well. Empower your team by delighting and delegating meaningful work and trusting them to deliver. This builds confidence and it fosters innovation. Now, if we look at Hyundai Lukia, he's the founder of Chobani, and I probably mispronounced his name, but it's a difficult name for me to pronounce. He's a perfect example. When he bought a shuttered yogurt factory in 2005, he had no business experience. He just had a vision to make high quality yogurt accessible. Instead of micromanaging, he empowered his small team at that point to experiment with recipes and processes. He also invested in his community. He hired refugees, supporting a local farmers market, and that trust paid off. Chobani became a billion-dollar brand, and people's first mindset made him a beloved leader among his team. So the actionable step in this is that the next time you're tempted to take over a task yourself, ask yourself, who on my team could grow by taking this on? Delegate with clear expectations, and then step back and let them run with it. Next, resilience. We need to be able to embrace setbacks. Setbacks are inevitable, but a leadership mindset sees them as opportunities to learn. Resilient leaders stay calm under pressure, and they model perseverance for their team. An example I can think of off the top of my head is Oprah Winfrey. Early in her career, she faced rejection, discrimination, and professional setbacks. She refused to let those setbacks and all those things that she experienced define who she was. Instead, she used each challenge as a fuel to grow. Eventually, she empowered and became one of the most influential leaders of her time. Her resilience became a mindset that viewed obstacles as stepping stones. So the actionable step here would be when you face a setback, ask yourself, what can I learn from this? And share the lesson with your team to show that failure is part of the growth. Lastly, number 5, vision. Inspire with purpose. A leadership mindset is anchored by a clear vision. Great leaders articulate goals that inspire and align their teams around a shared purpose. Elon Musk, love him or hate him. Elon Musk's vision for SpaceX to make humanity a multiplanetary species has inspired engineers to achieve breakthroughs like reusable rockets. His ability to communicate a bold and compelling vision keeps his team pushing the boundaries of what's possible. So, the actionable step with this, write down your team's why. Share it in your next meeting to remind everyone of the bigger picture that you're trying to achieve. Now, achieving goals in a reasonable time frame is part of that mindset as well. A leadership mindset is only as good as the results it delivers, and that means setting and achieving goals effectively. One of the best frameworks for this is SMART goals, which means specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound. This approach keeps you focused and ensures progress without overwhelming you. Let's look at Candy Burris, the Grammy-winning songwriter and entrepreneur. Candy didn't have a formal business education, but she had a leadership mindset that drove her to succeed in multiple industries: music, television, and hospitality. When she launched her restaurant, Old Lady Gang, she set clear, measurable goals. She opened a location, built a loyal customer base, and expanded it within 5 years. By breaking her vision into manageable steps, hiring the right team, refining the menu, and marketing strategically, she turned a dream into a thriving business. The key to SMART goals is balance. You see, you want goals that are going to stretch you, but you don't want them to break you. For example, instead of saying, I want to grow my business, say, I want to increase revenue by 10% in the next 6 months by launching a new marketing campaign. This needs to be specific and measurable. It has to be achievable, it has to be relevant, it has to be time-bound. Another example is Angela Arntz, former CEO of Blueberry. When she joined in 2006, Blueberry was a struggling luxury brand. And she used the SMART concept as a goal to reposition Blueberry as Burberry. There you go. I keep calling it Blueberry. It's Burberry, a global leader by focusing on the digital innovation and brand consistency. She revamped the website. She invested in social media, and they streamlined the product line. By 2014, Burberry's revenue had doubled, and it was a darling of the fashion world. You see, her mindset paired with disciplined goal setting, and it made it happen. So an actionable step in this, take one goal you have right now, break it into 3 smaller tasks. For example, if your goal is to improve team morale, your task might be conduct a team survey by next Friday, host a feedback session the following week, and then implement one change by the end of the month. And then you need to track your progress and celebrate the small wins. A leadership mindset paired with SMART goals creates momentum. It's not about doing everything at once. It's about doing the right things consistently and with purpose. So as we wrap up today's episode, let's reflect on what we've explored. A leadership mindset isn't a buzzword. It's a powerful way of thinking and transform how you lead, how your team performs, and how you navigate life's challenges. And we've given you examples of that throughout this podcast. You don't need to be a CEO or an explorer to embrace this type of mindset. Whether you're leading a team, a project, or just yourself, these principles apply. Start small, reflect on your values, delegate one task, or set one smart goal. Over time, these habits will compound, and you'll see the impact not just on your leadership, but on the people around you. So I want to thank you for joining me on this episode of The Language of Leadership. If this episode resonated with you, share it with a colleague or friend who's looking to level up their leadership game. And I'd love to hear from you. What's one takeaway you're putting into action today? Drop me a note on the website or on social media. But until next time, lead with purpose, stay curious,